our discussion today will really be highlighting the value of engaging with educational partnerships. And for this one, we're actually going to be zeroing in on two educational partnerships, international partnerships, that we've had here at Excelsior Community College. And from it, you are going to appreciate the value of participating if the opportunity provides, and for my lecturer colleagues, if it is that you're asked to do anything related to these partnerships, you can at least consider it. Now, how are we going to do our presentation? We're going to start by looking at what really is the purpose of higher education, after which we're going to explore some of the rationale. Why is it that we ought to be interested in engaging with educational partnerships? Naturally, we have to contextualize our presentation by looking at what exactly do we mean by educational partnerships, and then we're going to look at about 3 or 4 principles that were implemented when those educational partnerships were being established, and why is it that in our heads, my co-presenter and I, we felt that there were successful and sustainable educational partnership. Now, in 1997, a daring report was done, and that report explored some of the intricacies of higher education in the UK. From it, this was a suggestion that one of the purposes of higher education is really to inspire individuals not only to develop their full potential, but at the same time help them to be well equipped and contribute effectively to society, as well as achieve their full potential. Now, that's what we want to consider as the aim of your being a part of any institution of higher learning. It speaks to the critical need of educational institutions to do whatever they can to ensure that this is achieved when they have their clients coming in. Now, this is the preamble, so we're going to talk about the educational landscape, the realities of higher education, why we need to engage with partnerships, and the strategies that we're going to be using to do it. Educational partnerships are important. They're important because of why is it that we decide to enroll in an institution of higher learning. Education is perhaps one of the only ways that can lead us to global prosperity. It can take us out of poverty. It's a prerequisite for our empowerment. Higher education will also allow for access regardless of your background. And I know some of us might be looking and thinking that we might never have reached this stage. But higher education allows for that level of accessibility, and of course there needs to be equity in how education is brought about. Now, what are the realities of institution of higher learning? Competition. There's serious competition going on where education is concerned, and because we have that level of competition, it's important then that institutions such as Excelsior Community College find innovative strategies of leveling the resources that we have. We need to strengthen our visibility, the research day being one of that opportunity to strengthen visibility in the market, as well as to ensure that the primary purpose of education is realized. And in order to do that, we come right back to our thesis that we need to engage in educational partnership. No, the traditional one-size-fits-all doesn't work. We're all individuals, we all have different needs and different reasons for coming, and so how is it that we normally go about engaging with students must change because of our individual needs. And we recognize that the institutions by themselves are unable to do that. Try as we may, as an institution, we're unable to provide you with all the requisite skills and experience that you're going to need. Hence, we have to engage with educational partnerships. Now, we're going to look at 3 definitions, and then out of it, we're going to tell you the definition that we are working with as presenters for this. So if you look at the definitions, you'll realize some key terms coming out. One, the relationship. So some educational partnerships will talk about the relationship that exists among the different partners. Others will talk about the qualities that are entrenched in these relationships: equity, respect, reciprocity, ownership. And of course, some persons will talk about the collaborative efforts that are there. However, the definition that we have adopted for this presentation is we're referring to it as a dynamic collaborative process. I want you to note the term dynamic and process. So it's ever changing, and there's always this loop. So there's no one fit to an educational partnership. And of course, there ought to be some sort of agreement among the partners to ensure that our ultimate goal is achieved.